Every time life knocks you down, it's not burying you, it's planting you. Because when fire hits gold, it doesn't destroy it, it refines it. You're not failing, my friends, you're forging fire. Ladies and gentlemen, I know what it feels like to stand in the ashes of your effort, watching everything you worked for crumble in front of your eyes. I know what it's like to look in the mirror and wonder, what happened? I tried my best. Why am I still here? But hear me today. You're not failing, you're forging fire. The world has taught us to fear failure, to run from it, to avoid it at all costs. But failure is not the enemy. Failure is the forge, the burning chamber where steel becomes unbreakable, where ordinary men and women become extraordinary warriors. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. Every disappointment, every rejection, every closed door, it's not ending your story, it's editing it. You see, the strongest people you admire didn't just make it. They endured it. They failed, cried, fell apart, and yet they showed up again. Because failure is not about falling, it's about rising different. The version of you that went through the pain is not the same one who comes out of it. You emerge sharper, wiser, and stronger. The truth is, fire reveals what you're made of. When you're in the middle of it, when the heat feels unbearable, that's not destruction, that's transformation. The pain you feel is not a signal to quit, it's the signal that you're being shaped. You're being refined for your purpose. You're being stripped of your doubts, your fears, your excuses. When you fail, it's not the end of the road, it's a redirection. Life doesn't break you to destroy you. It breaks you to rebuild you into something unshakable. The question is, can you stay in the fire long enough to become the person you're meant to be? Ladies and gentlemen, every champion has scars. Every success story has chapters written in pain. But what separates winners from quitters is that winners understand the purpose of the pain. They realize the fire wasn't sent to burn them down. It was sent to burn away everything that's not them. Stop calling it failure. Start calling it forging. You are not being tested to see if you can survive. You're being proven to show that you can thrive. The world doesn't need your excuses, it needs your endurance. It doesn't need your comfort, it needs your courage. You've got something powerful inside you, something fierce, something unbreakable, but it can only be revealed under pressure. So when life turns up the heat, don't beg for the flames to stop. Thank them for showing you your strength. Don't curse the struggle. Use it. Don't run from the pain. Rise through it. Because while others are breaking down, you're breaking through. While others are giving up, you're gearing up. You're not failing, you're forging fire. You're in the process of becoming indestructible. You're being molded into someone who will not only survive the storm, but command it. Hold your head up. Breathe through the flames. The fire that tried to destroy you will be the very reason you shine. And when people ask you, how did you make it? Smile and say, I didn't just make it, I was forged in fire. Ladies and gentlemen, failure isn't final, it's formative. The problem is, most people treat failure like a funeral instead of a foundation. They act like every mistake is a tombstone instead of a teacher. But hear me, failure is not where your life ends, it's where your character begins. It's where you learn what you're really made of. It's where your faith gets tested and your strength gets stretched. Every time you fall short, you're not losing, you're learning. You're gathering the wisdom that will one day become your weapon. Too many people quit after the first no, the first rejection, the first disappointment. They walk away thinking it's over. But success is built on the broken pieces of yesterday's failures. Every no you've ever heard, every door that closed in your face was actually redirection towards something greater. Failure doesn't define you. It refines you. It doesn't diminish your worth. It develops your work. You see, failure exposes the truth. It shows you what's not working. It reveals the habits, the fears, the doubts that are holding you back. Failure is feedback, not a finish line. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't that the winners never failed. It's that they never stopped showing up. They didn't let the pain of failure paralyze them. They let it fuel them. Ladies and gentlemen, think about it. The seed has to be buried before it can grow. The diamond has to be cut before it can shine. The gold has to be refined before it can be pure. And your dream, your purpose, or your potential, it's no different. You can't become who you're meant to be without walking through the discomfort of failure. You've got to stop being afraid to fail. Stop being scared to look foolish, to make mistakes, to fall flat on your face. The people who never fail are the people who never try. And the ones who grow into greatness are the ones who dared to fail forward, who dared to fall and get back up again, stronger, wiser, and more focused than before. You can't grow inside your comfort zone. Growth doesn't happen in ease. It happens in effort. Failure is the gym where resilience is built. It's the fire where courage is forged. So if you've failed recently, don't hang your head. Hold it high, because that means you're in motion. That means you're trying. That means you're alive. You're not losing, you're learning. Every time you stumble, every time you struggle, you're gathering tools that will one day build your success story. One day you'll look back and realize that the things that felt like failures were actually the foundation stones of your future. So stop crying over what didn't work. Stop doubting because it didn't go as planned. The path to success was never meant to be straight. It's meant to be shaped by failure, because failure builds wisdom. It builds humility, and it builds endurance. You're not failing, you're forming. Every challenge is shaping the person you need to become to handle what's coming. Failure isn't the opposite of success, it's the ingredient of it. Without it, there's no strength, no story, no growth. So don't curse the failure. Thank it, because failure is the workshop of champions. Every setback is a setup for something stronger. Life has a funny way of disguising blessings as burdens. What looks like the end is often just the beginning in disguise. When something falls apart, when you lose the job, when the relationship ends, when the dream collapses, it's not rejection, it's redirection. Life is not taking something from you, it's preparing something for you. You see, the pain you feel right now is the birthplace of power. The struggle you're facing is the preparation for your strength. Every setback you've ever faced wasn't there to stop you. It was there to shape you. It's building endurance. It's building toughness. It's teaching you how to fight when the odds are against you. The truth is, the higher your calling, the harder your conditioning. You can't expect a strong destiny with a weak mindset. Life will test you to see if you're serious about your dream. It'll strip away everything that's not meant for where you're going. It'll challenge your faith, your patience, and your persistence. But remember this, life doesn't take you through pain to leave you there. It takes you through pain to prepare you for promise. Ladies and gentlemen, think back to a time when you thought it was over. When you thought you couldn't take another hit. When you thought the weight was too heavy. But you made it through. You survived. And now you're stronger than you've ever been. That's what setbacks do. They teach you that you're capable of more than you thought. Don't let a delay make you think you've been denied. Don't let a detour make you think you've been defeated. Sometimes you're not going backward, you're just being rerouted. Life is aligning you with something greater, something you can't see yet. Every setback is training your spirit. It's building the discipline, the resilience, and the gratitude you'll need when you finally reach your breakthrough. You can't handle success until you've handled struggle. You can't appreciate light until you've walked through darkness. So the next time life knocks you down, don't ask why me. Ask, what is this preparing me for? Because everything that happens, every heartbreak, every mistake, every loss, it's all part of your becoming. The storm isn't meant to drown you, it's meant to develop you. You're not being punished, you're being prepared. You're not being rejected, you're being redirected. And one day, when you look back, you'll realize the setback wasn't a curse. It was a course correction. Hold your head high even when it hurts. Keep walking even when it burns, because life's not breaking you, it's building you. Every setback is secretly setting you up to rise higher, to become bolder, to walk stronger. You're not stuck, you're being staged for something greater. And when your moment comes, when that opportunity shows up, you'll be ready, not because life was easy, but because you were forged through every fall, every failure, and every setback that was never meant to stop you, but to strengthen you. You can't rise while staying comfortable. Comfort is the silent killer of dreams. It whispers lies like, take it easy. You have time. You've done enough. Until one day you wake up and realize your potential has expired. Your fire has dimmed, and your dream is still sitting where you left it. Growth does not live in comfort, it lives in conflict. It lives in the tension between who you are and who you can become. If you want to evolve, you've got to be willing to stretch. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You've got to be willing to do the uncomfortable, the inconvenient, and the uncertain. The truth is, people pray for greatness but run from growth. They want the glory, but not the grind. They want the promotion, but not the process. But let me tell you something. You cannot possess what you're not prepared for. Life will not hand you blessings that your mindset can't handle. The pain, the rejection, the frustration. That's not punishment, that's preparation. That's life saying, are you ready for what you're asking for? When life gets uncomfortable, that's your sign you're growing. When you're being stretched, that's your sign you're expanding. You can't fit a big dream inside a small comfort zone. The butterfly had to fight its way out of the cocoon to fly. The seed had to crack open to grow. You have to endure the breaking to experience the becoming. Ladies and gentlemen, stop settling for comfort when you were created for calling. Stop seeking the easy way when the right way is rarely easy. The gym doesn't get easier, you just get stronger. And the same goes for life. Every challenge, every trial, every uncomfortable moment is your gym for growth. You've got to stop complaining about the pressure and start understanding it. Diamonds are not made in silence. They're made under heat. You're not under pressure to break, you're under pressure to build. So if life feels heavy, if it feels like too much, remind yourself, you're not being crushed. You're being crafted. Comfort zones are beautiful places, but nothing grows there. Nothing changes there. Nothing becomes there if you want to rise above average. You have to be willing to feel awkward, uncertain, and even afraid. Growth requires movement, and movement means leaving something behind. You've got to leave behind your excuses, your self-doubt, your need for approval, and your fear of failure. That's why growth hurts, because it requires release. You can't grab hold of your future if your hands are still gripping your past. You've got to let go of who you were so you can become who you're meant to be. Every time you resist discomfort, you delay destiny. Every time you choose convenience over consistency, you trade your potential for pleasure. But when you choose growth, when you choose to do what's hard, to face what's painful, to keep moving forward even when it's messy, that's when you truly start becoming unstoppable. So don't pray for easy days. Pray for stronger shoulders. Don't ask life to be gentle. Ask yourself to be tougher. Because comfort will give you a temporary sense of peace, but growth will give you a lifetime of purpose. And purpose, my friends, is worth every ounce of discomfort you'll ever endure. The reason so many people never become who they're meant to be is because they quit too soon. They let fear, failure, or frustration convince them that the journey isn't worth it. But hear this, nothing great was ever built by someone who quit halfway. Every mountain requires the climb, every dream demands the persistence to push when it hurts, and every success story is written by someone who refused to stop turning the page. When it gets hard, and it will, that's when most people check out. But that's also where the magic happens. Success is never found at the beginning of the race. It's found in the moments when you want to give up, but choose to go one more round. It's found in the extra mile, the late night grind, the quiet tears nobody sees but you. Persistence is not about perfection. It's about endurance. It's about having the courage to stay in the fight even when the punches keep coming. It's about believing that every step forward, no matter how small, is still progress. Some days you'll crawl, some days you'll stumble. But if you keep moving, you'll eventually arrive. When life says no, persistence says, when doors close, persistence finds windows. When storms come, persistence builds shelter. Persistence is the force that turns setbacks into setups. It's the fuel that turns struggle into strength. You've got to stop letting temporary pain cause permanent regret. You've got to stop walking away when it gets hard. The moment you're about to quit is usually the moment right before your breakthrough. The reason so many people never see their full potential is because they give up just before the finish line. You're not being tested to see if you'll fail. You're being tested to see if you'll fight. Every struggle you face is life asking you, how bad do you want it? Because if you can't stay disciplined when it's tough, you won't be trusted when it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, don't let your emotions make your decisions. Let your purpose do that. Your feelings will tell you to stop, to rest, to give up. But your purpose will whisper, keep going. And that whisper, that inner voice that refuses to die, that's your greatness trying to break through. When you feel tired, remember why you started. When you feel broken, remind yourself that pressure builds strength. When you feel like quitting, remember that persistence separates the dreamers from the doors. Life doesn't reward the one who starts strong. It rewards the one who finishes. You can't control how long it takes, but you can control how long you try. You can't decide when the door opens, but you can decide to keep knocking. The key is consistency, not speed, not perfection. Just showing up again and again, even when it doesn't make sense, even when you can't see results, even when you're tired, because persistence will make you unstoppable. It will make you resilient. It will make you dangerous to failure. So don't stop now. You've come too far to only come this far. Every ounce of pain you've endured, every tear you've shed, every obstacle you've overcome, it all means something. Stay in the game, keep pushing, keep fighting, because persistence doesn't just change your circumstances, it changes you. You can't forge greatness without walking through the fire. Everybody wants to shine, but nobody wants to burn. Everybody wants to stand on the stage, but nobody wants to go through the struggle that builds the strength to stand there. Fire is not your enemy. It's your refiner. It's the process that removes the impurities, the fears, the doubts, the weaknesses that keep you from becoming who you were meant to be. When life turns up the heat, that's not destruction, that's development. That's life saying, you're ready to evolve now. See, fire doesn't come for what's weak. It comes for what's valuable. Nobody wastes heat on garbage. If you're feeling the flames right now, it's because you're gold. You're chosen. You're being shaped into something that will not break when the storms of life come. But here's the thing, you've got to stay in the fire long enough to be refined. Too many people jump out when it gets hot. They say, this is too much, I can't handle this. But hear me, the fire is never meant to destroy you. It's meant to define you. The greatest warriors are forged in battle. The strongest steel is created in the hottest flames. Every scar, every wound, every painful moment is a strike of the hammer that's molding you into greatness. You are being built piece by piece, trial by trial, test by test. And the very thing you think is breaking you may be the thing that's building you. You can't pray for strength and then complain about the struggle. You can't ask for wisdom and then resist the lessons. You can't ask for growth and then run from the grind. The fire is necessary. It burns away the old version of you so the stronger, bolder, wiser version can emerge. Every failure, every heartbreak, every betrayal, that's your furnace. It's where your weakness is burned off and your greatness begins to glow. You see, when you come out of the fire, you don't just come out the same. You come out transformed. You walk differently, talk differently, think differently. You stop being fragile and start being fierce. You stop being a victim and start being victorious. The fire gives you clarity, confidence, and conviction. It gives you a voice that can't be silenced and a spirit that can't be shaken. So stop cursing the fire. Start respecting it. It's making you who you need to be for where you're going. Stop praying for comfort. Start praying for courage. Because your destiny is not found in the calm. It's found in the chaos. It's found in the moments when everything is burning and you still refuse to back down. You can't forge greatness without walking through the fire. And if you stay in long enough, the world will feel your heat. The comeback always starts at rock bottom. People think success begins at the top, but no, it begins when you've lost it all. It begins when you've been knocked down so hard you don't even know how to get up. It begins when you've hit the lowest point of your life and you've got two choices, stay down or rise again. That's where the comeback is born. Rock bottom isn't your end, it's your beginning. It's the place where your pride dies and your purpose is born. It's where you stop pretending and start becoming. When you're at rock bottom, there's no more pretending to be strong. You either find your strength or you don't make it out. And that's what makes the comeback so powerful. It's real, it's raw, it's you. When life strips everything away, that's when you discover what really matters. That's when you realize your worth doesn't come from titles, money, or applause. It comes from your will to keep moving when everything inside you says stop. You can rebuild from nothing, but only if you refuse to quit. You see, rock bottom is where faith lives. It's where you start talking to yourself differently. It's where you stop saying, why me? And start saying, try me. It's where you stop relying on the world and start relying on your inner fire. Every comeback story starts with someone who refused to accept that the story was over. You've got to understand, losing everything is not the worst thing that can happen. The worst thing is losing yourself in the process. The comeback begins when you decide, I may be down, but I'm not done. You start rebuilding piece by piece, day by day. And suddenly the things that broke you start to build you. The betrayal gives you boundaries. The failure gives you focus. The pain gives you power. So if you're at rock bottom right now, don't despair. Dig deep. That's where your foundation is being laid. That's where the seeds of your next level are being planted. Every empire starts from the ground up, and your rise will be no different. When you get back up, the people who doubted you will see the difference. The people who left you will regret it. The people who laughed will go silent. Because the version of you that's coming out of rock bottom is not the same one that fell. That version is wiser, tougher, sharper, and ready. The comeback always starts at rock bottom because that's where you meet the real you. That's where your purpose awakens, your faith deepens, and your power ignites. So if you're at your lowest, congratulations. You're standing at the doorway of your comeback story. Now get up, dust yourself off, and start climbing. Because your fall was just the setup for your rise. Ladies and gentlemen, hear me when I tell you, you are not failing, you are forging fire. Every setback, every sleepless night, every disappointment has been shaping you, molding you, preparing you for the moment you were born to step into. Life is not punishing you, it's polishing you. The pressure you feel, the pain you've endured, the storms you've survived, they're not signs of weakness. They're evidence of growth. You see, every time you refused to quit, every time you stood tall when life tried to break you, the fire inside you burned brighter. That's what warriors are made of. Not comfort, but conflict. Not ease, but endurance. You've been walking through the flames, and now you're glowing with a power that cannot be denied. So don't run from the fire, walk through it. Don't fear your failures, learn from them. Don't shrink in your storms, rise within them. Because the truth is, you are not being destroyed. You are being developed. Every scar you carry is proof that you didn't just survive the heat, you became it. When you step out of this season, the world will look at you and wonder how you made it. And you'll smile. Not because it was easy, but because you now know who you really are. You are the fire. You are the fighter. You are the forged. So stand tall, my friends. Your time isn't coming, it's here. This is your season to rise from the ashes, to turn your pain into power and your struggle into strength, because you were never failing. You were forging greatness through the fire.